Hello, people of YouTube. This is Gray's Guitars. I am Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. I think the last video I did was the Notadumble video, and now it's already being discontinued, which is very interesting. So let's go ahead and switch over here. And I'm curious if that was my last video or not. No, okay, it was a couple videos ago. May 13th, a couple weeks ago. So, essentially, they messed up, but at the same time, they didn't really mess up. And the reason I'm saying that is because it is a copy of a Dumble, but not the Dumble that it was said to be a copy of. So, essentially, they messed up the schematics somewhere along the lines. Josh did. And it was actually a copy of the even rarer Dumble, who also coincidentally is also on John Mayer's pedal board. So either way, it's still a Dumble off of John Mayer's pedal board, but it isn't the original one that he intended to make. So what does that mean in terms of price? I think they said they were going to make an additional 7,500 of these, I believe, and then they're just done. They're going to discontinue it, sell out of the stock that they have, and I'm assuming it's going to get a full redesign. It might be called something else, maybe version 2 when it comes out. So in terms of resale, this thing is probably going to get expensive on the resale market, because this is going to be like a big fiasco type deal. I don't think he did this on purpose. Maybe he did. Who the heck knows? But ultimately, it's a copy of a rare pedal that pretty much nobody has. And if you have the original, I don't see why you would buy this, because you have the original. So why would I get the same exact thing I already own? Well, maybe to build it. I guess it can be fun just to put the thing together. But let's go ahead and take a look at what Guitar World here is saying about it. I realized I made a huge mistake. JHS Pedals Notadumble has been discontinued after 2 weeks because it was accidentally fitted with an even rarer dumbbell circuit. The DIY pedal was accidentally fitted with an alternative dumbbell style circuit, but a fixed version is already in production. Okay, so they are already fixing it, and they're going to make a version 2. So JHS has discontinued the new Notadumble pedal just weeks after its launch because of a circuit error that founder Josh Scott has described as the biggest mistake of his career. The build-it-yourself stomp box was launched in a spiritual sibling to the hugely popular Notaklon, which has been hailed as one of the most affordable and unique clone pedals out there. By comparison, the Notadumble Overdrive pedal has been described as JHS's take on two sounds from the Dumble sonic universe, with a split personality defined by Dumble's violin lead tones on one channel and an impression of John Mayer's ultra-rare A-Box later pedal for the clean. He actually had to borrow John Mayer's pedals to make this thing and make copies for John Mayer. He made a couple of one-offs for him. During the development of the Notadumble, Mayer's pedals was borrowed by JHS, who dissected his tonal magic for the stomp box. However, a mix-up meant a different circuit was ultimately used in the final product. I believe it was because I did watch the whole video that JHS put out, and you're more than welcome to if you want more details. This is kind of my take on it. But ultimately, an employee that I think was like a circuit designer and created the schematics for a lot of stuff, unfortunately passed away. And the production of this pedal was happening in the process of when that happened, and things just got mixed up. The wrong pedal schematics went out, and here we are. The pedal has therefore been accidentally missold, and Scott has been quick to own up to the mistake, take the necessary steps to rectify the matter. On May 17th, Scott discovered the mistake after asking his head engineer for the original schematics used to create the pedal. Upon reviewing the end of that reply, I immediately froze, knowing something was horribly wrong, he admits in a new YouTube video. And honestly, if he never did the YouTube video, if he never said anything about it, I feel like you would not know. The big thing here, though, is I think a lot of scalpers are probably going to try to get the version 1, being that it kind of has this, now it's going to have this place in guitar pedal history as a giant mistake, and a lot of people are going to overspend. You know, I think it's like $120, I believe. I think initially it was 100, and then, you know, tariffs, markup, stuff like that. It's now both of them. The Notaclon, which you can still get for 120, that used to be 100, and then this was also 120. They both the price raised on both of them, or I guess the price raised on one rather. Now they're both in the same price. But that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of scalpers are going to scalp these, throw them up on Reverb for double the price, and some crazy people will buy them. Not me. Not me. I will not be buying one. In 2019, I left John Mayer's rehearsal in Los Angeles with 2 extremely rare Dumble units. My backpack to reverse engineer. One of those was the Dumble BBC 1, which Scott says he turned into the basic boost that none of you have ever seen, because that was just for John Mayer. Well, the second one was the Dumble A box later, which turned inspired into the box it later. This is what I claim to have been the clean channel for the Notadumble, but 2 weeks after the release, I realized that a huge mistake was made. I used the more rare Dumble BBC 1 instead of the box it later. So the mistake came to light when the schematics didn't show support for an effects loop, an integral part of the pedal. In the exact moment, Scott said, I began to go, oh no, what have we put in the Dumble? Panicking, he scrambled through R&D databases, he could not find records of it. However, he did find photos of his 2019 visit to Mayer's rehearsal space, and turns out the 2 units were mislabeled. I do not take lightly your choice by our products, he adds, and honestly, transparency are absolutely more important than how many of these pedals sell or don't sell. Of course, the flip side is that many players may be more excited by the prospect of a BBC 1 build, and limited numbers are still available to buy, despite them being pulled. Except the once humble price tags of the first edition pedals to rise on the secondhand market. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. The wrong version of the pedal has been discontinued, with 15,000 units planned, now reduced to 7,500. The last batch was released on Friday, May 23rd. 2,500 ready to ship, 5,000 available as pre-orders. These are set to be turned out, pace of about 1,000 units a week. So I'm sorry for that, and I'm sorry for how this all went down. Scott continues, it was unintentional, but it happened. He added that a second kerfluffle-free version of the pedal is now in production, but is unable to give a time frame of the release. So those who bought Notadumble and want to return it for a refund can do so until the end of June. So if you want a refund on this, by all means, I wouldn't, because I can guarantee, even if you want the new version and want to do an A-B comparison, the original one is just going to be more expensive in the used market. That's just how that's going to go. Dumble amps, masterminded by the late Alexander Dumble, have gathered a mythical mystique over the year and have been used by the likes of Eric Clapton, Eric Johnson, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Joe Bonamassa, and they went to great lengths to get that sound of the Super Overdrive. So after the firm is going to turn to the new Dumble Preservation Society told Guitar World, it will be back to keeping its legacy alive using trade secrets to boot. So that's interesting. I have to verify myself. We'll worry about that later. Not a Dumble. Let's see if we can buy one right now. Is there an option to buy one? No, I don't want mod. I just want guitar pedal. And it's out of stock, so you can't even get one anymore. What if I do Reverb? Let's see if they're going for stupid amounts of money on Reverb. Yep, I can guarantee you they are. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. Yep, $375. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Yep. Are any of these actually selling? Let's go to sold out of curiosity. I can't go to sold right now. That's stupid. Because I am curious. Buying options, ships to, location. Yeah. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so they've already gone up in price a lot. And if you want the original version, you're going to have to pay up for it now, because they are fully out of stock. Nothing you can do about it. Version 2 will be $120. Will version 1 ever make a comeback? Maybe, but as of right now, who knows? Who knows? Maybe. I don't think. I hope that he is not, because they initially said it was supposed to be 15,000 of these units, and now he's saying it's 7,500. I hope he's not holding 7,500 back. I don't think he would do this, but, you know, speculation. holding so many back so that way he can sell them on the secondhand market for double or triple what they were originally going for. That would be pretty crappy. Who knows? Maybe we'll figure that out in the future. I highly doubt that's what he's doing. He owned up to his mistake, and that is just all speculation. So maybe I shouldn't have even said it, but we'll leave it in the video. We'll see what happens in the future with this. Until next time, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good one.